Hi, I'm standing at William Lucy Way near the entrance to Port Meadow, and it's Saturday and it's actually dry and reasonably sunny after the horrendous rain of the last few days, including the day on which I made 2 short videos about flooding. And I'm just going to walk around a bit, including into Port Meadow, and see what the flooding situation is like now. So the pavement and dirt tracks are now pretty dry. However, that is Port Meadow. It isn't all Thames anymore, but probably more than half of it is Thames. And I know it hasn't rained today, not since 7 o'clock or so, because I had to take somebody down to one of the health centres round about then, and it was dry. Oh, people walking along the edge there. Not sure that I can see. Oh yes, there they are, roughly in the middle of the screen.
Did they not grant it a license for being suitable for swimming? Up there. On that section
Were people talking about bathing places? Did they not grant it a license for being suitable for swimming on that stretch of the river up there? That is the little footpath that runs down to a level track on the left of the railway, and that actually looks passable most of the way, unless the little ditch on its left has overflowed. Could well have done, actually, judging by how much the waters leading to it have overflowed. One does find in Oxford that one spends rather a lot of time thinking about water and where it lets one go. And it's now actually quite warm. Oh, nice afternoon. So I've just come into Port Meadow and I'm facing towards Wolvercote and more near towards Aristotle Lane Bridge. One thing I notice is that nobody is wearing wellies, Wellington boots, so other people don't expect the water to be too high. Somebody going past has just said to his girlfriend, "I think you're significantly less ravenous than a lot of other ladies I know." I suppose that's a compliment. Anyway, I was saying that very few, in fact no one I've seen is wearing Wellington boots, which is a good sign that people have faith that there's not too much water. On the other hand, it would still be nice if one or two people were wearing something that isn't either grey or dark brown or a sort of muddy blue. This, for example, or this, or even that, which is a painted velvet waistcoat. Sorry, I should have said printed velvet waistcoat, I think. Aren't those much nicer and more attractive colours? Right, I'm now proceeding towards Aristotle Bridge. And I have to say, it now looks as though Wolvercote has incongruously become a civilization on the edge of a great lake. You can imagine I'm sending out tiny explorer ships in all directions to explore what lays beyond. Now that's interesting. What would account for the sort of squashed down and browned patches? It's almost as if a large area of tarpaulin has been stuck over them. Those are quite geometric patterns. In fact, they're going on all the way. Oh, this is lovely now. I can see birds making the most of the flooding. I think they're Canada geese. In fact, I'd go so far as to say this is glorious. Oxford would clearly be improved by being on the edge of a great lake, and I rather wish this one were permanent. You can see how the land is shaped to fit it. Oh, the tree growth patterns.
point he was making that the plastic means the two liquids here. So anyway, then so Simba picks up the yoga ball, scoops all this water into it, puts it back down again, just to say like no one's going to. At which point Ollie picks it up again.
Private health.
Exactly. Yeah.
Might need emergency piece of service.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, the waters have receded. When I came and looked at this before, I actually could not get down off Aristotle Bridge into Port Meadow because the water was coming part of the way up the causeway to the bridge. So I had to stay on the bridge and watch that bizarre cross-country race running along this causeway. Very useful word, causeway, in this sort of situation. You find yourself using it a lot because causeways are the only places left to go. Okay, so the land is a little higher towards Wolvercote. I can see the northern edge of Port Meadow Lake. That dog has just submerged itself in that and run wildly towards a group of people, so I expect they're going to get very, very wet when it shakes itself. I just hope it doesn't come near me. Okay, well, I can't actually get up onto the bridge. There is some of that water left without getting my feet wet. I was going to look at the flooding in Aristotle Lane Recreation Ground too, but I'll have to leave that. Oh, I can see the water is flowing all the way from the pool on the left over the causeway and onto the right. That's where I pointed out a little natural sort of weir last time. They're having the same thoughts I did. That's the Thames over there, except I think this is now all Thames. Mm-hmm. At least now the ripples seem to be going in the right direction. I was quite confused by looking at this last time when they were all moving northwards, as if the Thames had reversed its direction of flow. He's an interesting character. That's a theologian and philosopher, and one of the things he's known for is mathematical proofs of the existence of God. He uses maths and logic to try to construct arguments which must be true in the same way that... Oh, how can I give a simple example? You can say that a door has to be either closed or open. It's true that a door is either closed or it's open because of the meaning of the words. If you use those words, then a door has to be one or the other. And he steps that sort of principle up to the nth power, making arguments that have to be true in that sort of way, and that prove that God exists. Or at least that's what he says his arguments do. Various others, people who've listened to them or read them, some are quite critical. This is bizarre. I'm covered in little tiny bits of spider web, glistening purple and grey. I'll give you an example of an argument that proves that God exists. Here it goes. God is perfect. By definition, God is the perfect being. But a perfect being has to have all attributes, every possible attribute. But existence is an attribute. So God has to have the attribute or property of existence. Therefore, God exists. Now that's how I remember the outline. Problems with it immediately spring to mind, such as that if God has to have all attributes, then it also means he has to have attributes such as evilness and malevolence. So the argument breaks down there, so why shouldn't it break down in the case of existence too? I'm not sure how you counter that one. I may well have misremembered the argument. Wow, it's feeling really nice and warm on my back now.
I went, oh, I didn't think I was in there.
Okay, well that is Port Meadow on Saturday, and Port Meadow has now become a lake which contains an awful lot of Thames. See you next time.